Distinguished chairperson, dear delegates and participants of the conference, I am very pleasure to be here, and it is my last visit. Last visit was 5 years
Mike,
ago.
please, Mike.
That's right. Thank you very much for invitation. First of all, I would like to thank organizers this conference for the invitation, and I am very happy one more again to be in India in my love day. My presentation is Ideology in Tajikistan, a reflection of relation between states. Content of presentation, you may see it in slides. First of all, I would like to introduce the prominent scientists associated with Indian studies in former Soviet Union and the side 8. That's why I would like to introduce first of all Sergei Oldenburg. He's well-known Sanskritologist and well-known Indologist, one of the founder of Academy of Sciences, former Soviet Union, and well-known our academician Bobojan Gafurov. He is former director of Institute of Oriental Studies. Previous, he was leader of Tajikistan up to 1965. He is not only leader of Tajikistan was during Soviet Union. Then he was during more than 20 years was director of Institute of Oriental Studies in Moscow. And he was, thanks to his works, was opened set of Institute of Oriental Studies in all Central Asia countries and including Caucasus. Sadreddin Aini and Mirzo Tursunzoda, also well-known persons in Tajikistan, heroes of nowadays Tajikistan. Sadreddin Aini was founder of Soviet literature of Tajikistan. Mirzo Tursunzoda was long time with head of Society of Writers in Tajikistan. And you know that he was also very popular in India. Academician Abdulghani Mirzoyev, he was founder of Institute of Oriental Studies in Tajikistan. Bahadur Iskandarov was long time director of Institute History, Academy of Sciences. Academician Ahror Muftorov and Nigmat, Numan Nigmat, also academicians. He was well-known specialist on Indian studies and South Asia. Numan Nigmatov was well-known archaeologist and one of the very famous Academy of Sciences in Tajikistan. Now, I would like begin my presentation with some very briefly, and hundreds of sources of Farsi Dari have left its extensive knowledge of the geography, nature of the Indian Peninsula, history, religions, culture, languages, literature, customs, and traditions of the people inhabiting Hindustan. This vast body of knowledge became the basis of the Indian studies in the 20th century within the framework of the Soviet ideology. Soviet Tajikistan played a special role in its relation with India precisely because of centuries old cultural ties. Therefore, Indology became one of the leading branches of the Tajik Orientalism in the Soviet period. Its fundamental basis was a stratum of the Farsi history, literature, science, culture, which is the common historical heritage of the people of India and Central Asia. This circumstance was the source of the post-Soviet disputes about the Tajik Indology should study. This issue has been under discussion since Soviet times, but after gaining independence, it has become as acute as ever. Let us leave aside a specific of Soviet Orientalism in the Central Asia republics of the former Soviet Union. This itself is very interesting topic for research. As for Tajik Indology, the debate focused on the search for identity in the process of nation building. Linguistics and philologists, specialists in Hindi and Urdu languages, believe that the Indology should study cultural phenomena in Hindi, Urdu, and other languages in the Indian subcontinent. At the same time, there was a widespread view that anything that took place within India could be the subject of Indological studies. Therefore, the study of works in Farsi Dari Tajik created in the territory of the Hindustan is the prerogative of Indologists. Both this position will exist today. The struggle is reflected in the works of Tajik Indologists and in the organization of Indological research. During Soviet period, the priority of the Tajik Indology was the study of the Farsi language literature of India. Ustad Sadreddin Aini and academician Abdul Ghani Mirzoyev conducted in the depth research in this direction, especially in the study of Indian style, Sabki Hindi. After them, such famous scholars as Bakayev, Gaffarov, and others worked in this field. Studies of literature in Farsi and Urdu were mainly concentrated in the sector of India and Pakistan, the Institute of Oriental Studies of the Academy of Sciences, former Tajik Soviet Republic. This scientific division existed since the founding of the institute in 1971. In the mid-1970s, after graduating from the Departments of Oriental Studies in Leningrad and Tashkent universities, Usmanov, Nurov, and other our colleagues came to Tajik Indology. They expanded Indology in the areas of Hindi, linguistics, and literature. The same scholars later organized a department of Hindi and Urdu studies at the Oriental faculty of the Tajik State University, which is still functioning today. Sovereignization of Tajikistan was accompanied by the turmoil of the inter-Tajik conflict, 1992-1997. Power collapse, the industrialization, and improvement of population. This could not but affect science. The Institute of Oriental Written Heritage was established on the basis of Department of Manuscript. Attempted to keep country studies within the Institute of World Economy and International Relations had little effect. At the time, Tajikistan had just begun to form its foreign policy agencies, mutual interest between Tajikistan and India. But this relation was low, and international relations were limited in the establishment of stable relations. Tajik-Indian contacts were more active through in the Friendship Society, Aga Khan agencies, Mumbai Zoroastrian College, individual enthusiasts, and later through the Minister of Defense and Tajik Slavonic University. During this period, Indological research in Tajikistan slowed down, but continued to develop within the paradigm established in the USSR. Tajik scholars continued to work without of this minimal funding, guided by their own scientific interest. prominent scholars such Iskandarov, director of Institute of History of Academy of Sciences, academicians Mukhtarov, Nigmatov, worked. They studied various aspects of Indian history, culture, and literature. For example, in 1993, Iskandarov publishes the book titled Central Asia and India, Trade, Cultural, and Political Ties, brief sketch. The book is devoted to the relation between peoples of Central Asia and India from ancient times to the Delhi Sultanate. Nigmatov studied relation of Tajiks and Kazakh with the population of the Indian subcontinent starting from the 3rd millennium before Christ. Polodova, well-known Indologist, published the book The Road of Friendship in 1991 and The Age of Loyalty 2002, dedicated to history of literature in Persian and Urdu languages in India. A number of publications on the Hindi and Urdu languages by Tajik linguists were published. At that time, I myself was working on the study of historical works in Farsi written in Delhi Sultanate and Great Mughal Empire before 19th century. In general, Indologists in Tajikistan maintained public interest in Indian culture and history through the publication of popularizing articles about India in the mass media. In the early 2000s, Tajikistan began to recover from the shocks of 19th. Science also began to recover, but it faced entirely new challenges. Tajikistan became a sovereign state and had to undergo a nation-building process. It was necessary to form a national identity, determine the basis of the consolidation of society, and choose ways of legitimize the new statehood. Having become subject to international relations, all this required scientific and exploratory support. Therefore, the Institute of Oriental Studies and Written Heritage of the Academy of Sciences was restored after several reorganizations. In 2006, Department of India and Pakistan was established in the institute. At this time, number of works appeared, analysis of Soviet experience of Tajikistan's relation with the outside world, and at the same time reflects the process of formation of diplomacy and foreign policy of the Republic of Tajikistan. The publications of collection of the document of the first decade of Tajikistan independent existence has been a great help to researchers. The document presented in the chronological order shows the formation of the government, the foreign minister, and other organization that maintained ties with the outside world, including India. Tajik scholars not only Tajikistan not only documented and comprehended the formation of the Tajikistan foreign policy toward India, but also searched for its historical precondition and regularity. For example, an interesting historian explores the history of diplomatic relation between Emirate Bukhara and India in the 17th century. The interest in the study of Tajik-India's relation can be explained not only by the urgent need of the comprehensive and accumulate experience of international relations, but also by the ongoing search of identity. And sorry. And despite the development of new trends of Indian studies, the most significant work are still published by the source specialists, historians, linguists, and literary scholars. Tajik scholar Indian studies written a number of textbooks and manual of the study of Hindi and Urdu languages, compiled these dictionaries and phrasebook of these languages. Young teachers who work at the Department of Indian Philology at the Faculty of Asian and European Languages of Tajik National University study various aspects of Hindi and Urdu linguistics. The successful of Tajik literary study in general should be particularly noted. For example, researcher Boybek Rahimov has long studied of the works of Abdul Qadir Bedi, the famous classic of Indian literature in the Farsi in Tajikistan. In recent years, the researcher has published several fundamental texts on the work of the poet. The young historian Husseinov has prepared a very interesting work on the History Farishta, Tarikh Farishta by Muhammad Qasim Hindushah Astarabadi. In conclusion, I should note that the sharp acceleration of the work processes and changes in the international situation are reinforcing the expansion of Indological research in Tajikistan, developing its new direction, opening up new prospects for cooperation. However, Tajikistan has its own deep and inexhaustible source of interest in India, which is the love of Amir Khosrow Dehlavi, Hassan Dehlavi, Bedil, Muhammad Iqbal, and many others. Their followers and the philosophy, history, and literature of Farsi-speaking Muslim India. Indian studies in Tajikistan is not so much a reflection of a relation between states as manifestation of one people's deep interest to another. Thank you very much. Bahut dhanyavad.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Professor. It was a very elaborate and very interesting discourse. And you talked about Indology, directions of Indology and everything. Thank you very much. Very, very. Now, next speaker is, yeah.
Number one, let us try to stick to schedule 10 minutes only. So that we can cover all the speakers. There are so many eminent personalities present here, and I must say, the very rarest of rare gathering where so many handsome and beautiful personalities present here. Not only appearance, but thoughts also. Very rare. So let us try to hear everybody as much as possible, number one. Number two, the Holy Quran says, Lakum dinkum walay din. Everybody is entitled to have his own views. So